we have a fight on our hands. This is not going to be easy, but I feel much better about our chances after Friday. Seeing RFK on stage with Donald Trump, it's a game changer. Changes the ballots, changes the polling, changes the probability, shows that we have an ascendant movement. It's a morale high and honestly a morale boost that we could just kind of put Chicago in the rearview mirror. It's brilliant. And credit to the Trump campaign team. By the way, you know they did this by one day. By one day, they were able to have RFK submit his paperwork to Arizona, and he's no longer on the ballot in Arizona. It's massive. Arizona is probably the state where RFK was strongest. A lot of independent voters, a lot of Maha voters, a lot of women that don't like Trump, but they cannot stand Democrats. A lot of people that do not follow the entire vaccination schedule. RFK has a huge following in Arizona. And I am proud to announce we are going to be doing health-focused summits and events with RFK in Arizona from now to the election. Mom-centered, people-centered, health-centered Maha events, Make America Healthy Again, with RFK and with female influencers. The data is in. We got some serious problems with this data. We were looking at this yesterday. Now, this is from the New York Times, Siena, but it is directionally correct because of the breakdown. Gen Z women are favoring Kamala Harris by nearly 40 points. Gen Z men are favoring Trump by about 15 points, which is really, really good. That is very good. Millennial men favor Trump by 15 points. Millennial women, they favor Harris by a little under 20 points. Now, if I were to ask you, what generation is Trump strongest at? Where is Donald Trump the strongest? It is not baby boomers. It is Gen X. And that is something we have been saying on this program for quite some time. The rise of Gen X. Gen X are the kids of the Vietnam era. So they were born during the Vietnam era. That's when they were born. And they have been passed over by boomers. They've been living in the shadow of the baby boomer generation their entire life. They're born between 1965 and 1980. Gen X is by far the most conservative generation in America. Gen X men favor Donald Trump by 20 points. Gen X women, ages 45 to 64, favor Kamala Harris by only about 5 points. Now, ages 65 plus, baby boomers. Now, again, this polling could be a little off, but it's directionally correct because you know this by the breakdown of Gen Z. Baby boomer women favor Kamala Harris by 20 points. I think that's a little bit generous, but that is a fire alarm if true. Said differently, baby boomer women, according to this gender gap poll with 8 categories by the New York Times Siena, baby boomer women are the second most liberal female category, even more liberal than millennial women. We can do a lot better with baby boomer women. Baby boomer men, congratulations. Very conservative. Sort of. According to this poll, Gen Z men are more conservative than baby boomer men. According to this poll, millennial men are more conservative than baby boomer men. Now, let me just make a plea for our wonderful baby boomers in the audience. Please fix this. Please. If this ends up being correct, if this manifests in reality, we will not win. I'm going to be as blunt as I possibly can. I don't think this poll is correct. They oversampled Democrats. The New York Times Siena poll had us down 5 in Arizona. That is not correct, okay? We might not win Arizona. I hope we do. Down 5. No universe is that going to happen. A picture of reality right now. But let's put this back up on screen. Baby boomer women and Gen Z women, according to this sample survey, because it's directionally correct, are the most liberal women in the country. And you just got to love the Gen X women. The Gen X women also almost might vote majority Trump. What if Gen Z men, millennial men, and Gen X if Gen X runs the table and women and men end up favoring Trump and men end up going 25 plus, 30 plus in Trump's direction, Gen X could save this country. Who is Gen X? If you are ages 45 to 64. I could tell you this is 100% correct as the most intense, energized, conservative people in our audience. And if you were to look at the Trump rally that we had in Phoenix, the vast majority of attendees, we know this because we have the data, were ages 30 to 60. That's the data right there. Gen X in particular. Why is that Gen X is so conservative and anti-Democrat? Very hard to afford things right now, crushed by inflation, been overlooked by baby boomers for quite some time. And they want their country back because they had never actually got a chance to live in it.